Heritage Brewing Company, Masterpiece.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. It is fucking roasting out there. It's 84 degrees and it's in the middle of September and I'm not happy about this. I was hoping it was going to cool down and it's fucking heated up again. I really don't like this hot weather. Anyway, I've got a beer here. And it's a good one. It's from the Heritage Brewing Company. I know I've been doing a lot of these recently, but I want to drink these sharpish. I got them from the Kent Life Beer Festival that took place on the Sunday just gone. It is now Tuesday. And they have been brewing this stuff up in Burton-on-Trent, in the mecca of British brewing, but they've been using the hops from the Kent Life farm, which is based in a place called Aylesford, which is in Kent, which is just down the road from me. I went there Sunday and I had a bit of a raid in the shops. I will say from the off, this beer is not cheap. This is, well, I'm saying it's not cheap compared to craft beer. You know, it is cheap. This is $3.75 for 500ml of a bottle of IPA, and it's what I like about it. It's got the whole British brewing heritage behind it. Now I know it's brewed by the Heritage Brewing Company, but if you look them up, that's actually the National Brewing Centre, which is based in Burton-on-Trent. It's like a museum, and in 2011 they decided to set up their own brewery, and they started brewing stuff in that brewery. And some of the stuff that I've just tried has been really good. I tried a winter warmer earlier in 84 degrees. You know, it tasted lovely. It doesn't matter. In my opinion, it doesn't matter. Good beer is good beer. I also tried their Kent Life Best Bitter, which was really nice. It tasted like the sort of beer you would get from a really good country pub who knows how to store and pour their ale really well. That's what it tasted like out of the bottle. So I've got high hopes for this. Now, what I do have to tell you about this is I had a sneaky peek of this from a cask at the actual festival. And that was on the recommendation of a mate who went the day before. And he said, you've got to try this Masterpiece stuff. He said, it's really good. And I've tried it. And out of the cask, it was very, very interesting. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that's all I'm going to say. And it's brewed, as I say, it's brewed by the Heritage Brewing Company, but it gets its name from the horse on the front. That horse, it's an old draft horse from, I think, the 1900s. It'll probably say on the side of the bottle, but the horse was called Masterpiece, and they've named the bottle Masterpiece as well. What does it say on the side? Anyway, I won't do it now. I'll do it when we review the stuff. I'll do it when we review. I'll do it when we investigate the beer under the beer stats. Just a quick word before that. If you're wondering about the Kent Life farm and the hops they grow there, they're all grown in the old traditional style. They put them on the bines and they're put up there by a fella on stilts. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I could do that job. I'm fucking bad enough on a motorbike. Can you imagine me on two lengths of fucking wood trying to hang vines up? It just wouldn't happen. It'd be like saying out of a Benny Hill sketch, to be honest. But yeah, they all do that. Some old boy, I was actually talking to him, the fella that does it, and yeah, he sort of does that. And I actually had the hops in my hand. They smell absolutely gorgeous. Typically British hops, really fresh. You can just smell the aromas from there. Really nice. But yeah, that was a bit of an eye opener. And you know, even with COVID and all that and the restrictions they put on it, it's a really interesting thing to do. They hold it in September every year. If you fancy it next September, there's a beer festival. They have live music. They have an oast house there. You know, I'm quickly going to go into what an oast house is. It's used for drying the hops, and they show you how it works. And it's the only working oast house in the southeast, I think. And they still use them now. They dry the hops in an oast house, which is absolutely amazing. But that's as far as I'm going to go on that. But look it up, Kent Life, the farm and everything. You know, there's a lot to look up there. It's really, really interesting. Anyway, let's get back to this beer. This is our finest India Pale Ale, according to them. It's called Masterpiece. It is a 500ml bottle and it's 5.6%. On the side, it says aromatic hops, toasted cereal notes with hints of smoke and spice. The smoke and the spice, I imagine, are coming from them dried hops. Enhanced by a fragrant and fruity character and a top note of fresh bread. This bottle contains yeast sediment, which has been carefully, it's basically bottle conditioned, that's what they're saying. Pour it out gently. Brewed in Burton upon Trent, bringing brewing history to life. Yeah, and that's basically what it is, the brewing centre. They don't mention nothing about the horse, but it's named after the draft horse, Masterpiece, and that's why he's on the front of the bottle. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get it open. Let's see what's going on. Right, the cap is just plain golden coloured or brass coloured. Let's get it into the glass. Now you've got to remember, this, of course, is a British Pale Ale. It's an British India Pale Ale from the home of British brewing. You know, the original IPA, where, you know, originally it came from London, but when that ceased to exist, this lot took over in Burton. So I'm drinking a bit of history here, you know, and you won't get that with your craft brew reviews. I know I'm not knocking craft beer. I love it. I still review it, but I think this style is being ignored, and it shouldn't be. There goes the last of the yeast. Look at that. That is lovely. That is very cloudy. One finger whitehead, quite foamy. Looks amazing. I just want to give you a quick look at the label. And it's autofocus, but it's sort its fucking life out. Come on. Come on. This is what my eyes look like without glasses on. You fucking piece of shit. Work. There you go. That's what it's like, me putting my glasses on. That's the horse called Masterpiece. Anyway, what are we getting on the nose out of this? First thing that hits me is a little touch of caramel malt, but the flavours are very, very subdued. Wow, there's a little bit of earthiness on that as well. But I think what I've done is I've poured this out all in one, and I should have left it, let it swirl about a bit, get the carbonation going. Anyway, it's all about the flavour. Let's get it down the hatch. Mud in your eye. Cool. Wow, that is an English IPA. That is lovely. Cool, the arse end on it. That is just like black pepper. It really is, honestly. And that's them Kentish hops, the East Kent Goldings and the Fuggles. And it just lasts and lasts and lasts. And it's really nice. Some people may not like that. It may be a bit too bitter for them. Maybe a little bit too spicy for them. But that is lovely. You see, this is it. This is what they've done here. Now, your West Coast, your East Coast, your New Englands, whatever you want to call them, your American pale ales, they're all showcases for American hops, and they're overly hopped IPAs, and they have their place in the market. I'm not knocking craft beer. It has done a lot for the popularity of beer in the last few years, and I love that. But I can see what they've done here. They've done what the Americans have done with their IPAs. They've made an IPA now, but with British hops from the Kent farms around here, well, that Kent farm, Kent Life, and I wouldn't say they've overly hopped it, but the hop character on this is massive. It really is. And this is a taster for British hops. It's a showcase for British hops. And if you like your IPAs, your American IPAs, I'd really like you to try some of this. You probably won't like it because it is as far away from your super citrusy, pine, resinous type American hops than you can get. This is brewed, in the words of Manowar, on English soil. But you know what? There is a little touch of fruit on it, like apples, a little touch of orange zest, and it's catching me now. The finish on this is just super spice. It's, when I talk about spiciness, earthiness and spiciness in hops, this is what it's like turned up to 11. This is what I get, and it's lovely. I really like it. Some people may not like this. They may think it tastes too harsh. This is Percy. Percy wants to get out. He thinks it's feeding time. It ain't feeding time, mate. Come on in. There you go. Don't knock on the fucking door, because you want to get back in again. See, this is what he does. This is how he ruins my life. What do you want? Come here. This is Percy. This is the fucking bane of my life. This is. Isn't you, mate? Eh? He smells kind of malty, which is worrying me a little bit. I wonder if he's been drinking my beer. Anyway, let's dive in again. You can fuck off. You're not getting none of this. It's lovely. There is some malt on there as well, I will say. It's biscuity, like they say. It's not very caramel. I'm not getting much caramel. It's biscuity, and I'm not sure whether that's been just, subdued by the amount of hops that are in here. But I am getting that. But of course, the finish on this is just absolutely. It's hop central, or British hop central anyway. It's really nice though. I love it, absolutely love it. That is the archetypal English IPA. This is where it all stems from. So, if you like your American stuff, have a go on this. This is where it all originated from. It's really good. I wouldn't say it's as good as the Shepherd Neame IPA. The Sam Smith's India Ale, I think it's slightly better. There's more hop character in it. The Sam Smith's Pale Ale, I don't think it's as good, but I really like this. I could drink quite a few of these. It's got a very bitter finish, which may not be for everyone. That is an acquired taste. But as I say, I really like these, British hops, these Goldings and Fuggles that come from around Kent as well. They have just got a unique flavour, and you will not mistake it for anything else. And it's so good, certain Belgian brewers have asked for them to be exported over to Belgium to use in their beers, you know, their doubles and their triples. You don't really taste them much in there, but you know, Kent hops are that renowned. That's how good they are. And of course, you know, you've got a multitude of English brewers that are using Kentish hops in their beers, and I can see why. And this is absolutely gorgeous. What do you reckon, Perce? You're a fan of IPAs, are you? Right? Get out of it, you. So what's the verdict on this? Yeah, it's as good as I thought it would be. I have to say, I'll tell you now, I tried it on draft, and to be honest, I think it's better out the bottle. And the reason I think it's better out the bottle, I think it's bottle conditioned, and it's had more time to mature. The carbonation on this is minimal, really is. And it gives it a lovely mouthfeel. Don't get me wrong, the draft stuff had a lovely mouthfeel on it as well. But I think with the, you know, the bottle conditioning and the yeast sediment that's in here, I think it just gives it a little bit more flavour. And I don't know, the ABV, I think it was slightly less. I don't know what he's doing. Wait, stop it. The ABV wasn't as high as this, and that stands to reason because it's still fermenting in the bottle. But I just think there's a bit more body to it out of the bottle, and there's more, I don't know, I just got more hop character out of it than I did when it was on draft. It tasted more like a bitter when it was on draft, so that would say to me that that was quite fresh. It didn't have time to mature. Now I don't know how long that was in the bottle for on the shop shelf. It was actually in a refrigerator that was turned off, and I just thought, well, what's the fucking point of that? But it was better out of the bottle for me than it was on draft. So what am I going to give this? Well, is it the best English IPA I've tasted? No, it's not. I still think the Shepherd Neame IPA is the best I've tasted so far. Sam Smith's was quite good. I think this is on a par with the Sam Smith's, but this was more expensive. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I'm being a bit harsh on it, I think, because I tasted it on draft and it wasn't the same, and I just think that's going to put people off. If they try this on draft, they're going to hear me ranting how great it is out of the bottle, and they're not going to believe me. But I urge you to get some of this, even if you're not a fan of British, you know, or English IPAs. You're gonna taste where it all came from. You know, if you're a fan of the American stuff, this is where it all came from. And it may not be to your taste because it's full of English hop character, and that is an acquired taste. And your dad would probably love this, you might not. But yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I'm definitely going to recommend it. If you want to spend £3.75 to get a modern twist on an English IPA, then yeah, this is the one to go for. Brewed in small batches, I think, as well, from Kentish hops that are grown just down the road in Aylesford. And yeah, I love it. There's nothing not to like about this, for me anyway. You know, and people can knock it and say, no, it's fucking granddad beer, and you know, it's all about the American hops now and all that. But I don't care. I like the taste of it, and this is your IPA. This is your American heritage. All the Americans, they're trying to copy this. It's basically what they're doing with their own hops, and you know, fair play to them. They've put their own twist on it. Good luck to them. But it all stemmed from this. And remember, beer is working class champagne.